Right, let's get some reaction on the impact of Mpofu's withdrawal. We're joined now by attorney Khumisi Kganare, who's a legal expert. A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. Advocate Mkhwebane has essentially been left to fend for herself. She said that she hadn't given a mandate for her legal team to leave the proceedings. That's, of course, contrary to a ruling of the Concourt that ordered that she had to be represented throughout the proceedings. Perhaps let's start at the beginning. What forms the bulk of Mkhwebane's legal argument? Because a lot of what we've heard from the legal team is essentially almost a blame game, blaming the DA for the predicament in which their client finds herself in.
Thank you, Paul, and a very good morning to your viewers. I mean, look, the main issue here, and I mean, it also caught me, off guard, hearing it from Advocate Mpofu. Is that, they believe chairperson of the committee is not, is biased, if you may. And I mean, that's one of the most important requirements if we are to look at the, the rules of natural justice. Not only do you have a right to be heard, but, in the process of being heard, that must be through a process that is, not clouded by any unlawful, elements. And in this regard, that element would be the chairperson of the committee himself being biased insofar as the proceedings are concerned. And I mean, this is something you would recall that there were a lot of issues leading to, where we are now being the committee, the Section 194 Inquiry Committee. It's something that really comes as a result of Section 194 of the Constitution, that before there is a removal of an office bearer, not only the public protector, I mean, there's a lot of other institutions supporting constitutional democracy. They may be removed on the ground of misconduct, incapacity, or incompetence, and there must be a finding by a committee of the National Assembly to that effect, which finding must obviously be adopted by the National Assembly. Then, and only then, must the president remove the office bearer in question. So the issue here really is, the legal representatives believe that the chairperson of the committee is biased and as a result must recuse himself. Only then, the process can go forward. That's why I think, eventually Councillor Mpofu had to recuse or withdraw from the matter, because he sees continuing with the case being an endorsement on his part of the illegalities that he has identified in this process.
So with Advocate Mpofu's calls for the recusal, it was agreed essentially that there was no basis for no grounds for Dyantyi's removal because of the opinion of the majority of the committee members. That was something that was also spoken to very strongly. But perhaps let's give more clarity on the significance and the impact of the legal team's recusal. I mean, legal team's removal from the case in itself.
Yes, I mean, look, and this is something that the Constitutional Court, I think in February this year, when it handed down its judgment in the public protector case that also involved the DA, that insofar as the new rules, of removal of the National Assembly, are concerned, the most important thing, I think everything else was okay with the rules, but what the Constitutional Court said is, insofar as legal representation is concerned, the office bearer must be afforded the opportunity to be represented by a legal practitioner in that committee. Previously, the position was that the legal representative may assist the office bearer, but only in the background and not necessarily participate in the committee process itself. But now the Constitutional Court has made it very clear that the legal practitioner must represent the office bearer even in the proceedings of the committee. So if they withdraw now, the matter cannot proceed especially with the public protector not represented by a legal representative, and that's very important. So yeah.
What do you imagine this entire case? I mean, with all the interactions that we've seen, and what do you imagine to this entire case to bear in terms of significance on the image of the public protector itself? I mean, where does it place her and her office?
Look, I mean, one of the things that we also picked up, which, I wouldn't necessarily say it's one of the reasons, why the legal team is withdrawing from the matter, is that, there are also financial, issues insofar as putting the legal bill is concerned. And I mean, it was all over media that the office itself is struggling with that because they did not necessarily budget for legal fees, especially, leading up to this point. So it's something that, again, the public protector had indicated that they will have to go and, make a case for additional budget to cover legal fees. But this is very important, and not only for the public protector. I mean, there's the Commission for Gender Equality, there's the South African Human Rights Commission, and other institutions that support constitutional democracy. And we really need to see this process, moving and coming to an end without any issues that would really make the country question, the integrity of the process insofar as the National Assembly is concerned. So I think it's very important that, and I mean, now it's early days. You would recall that even her legal team hadn't necessarily gotten to a point where they call, witnesses. So it's really early days, and experiencing issues like this at this point is not a good thing. But I mean, what can we do? If there's a problem, it must be addressed. The law allows for what's happening now to happen the way that it's happening, which is if there are issues of, bias, you can always challenge. If you do not find joy, you are, allowed to withdraw. And I mean, we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah, very well. Thank you so much for weighing in on this discussion.